Awesome. I think we're live. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Happy Monday. My name's Lisa Cutler. Super excited to be with you guys for our Monday morning huddle. Today I have two super special guests that I cannot wait to introduce you to. I have Sandy and Michelle with me. They both joined Modere in September. I think they launched on September 2nd. And they both hit elite in under 28 days. So truly remarkable. So I asked them last week if they would mind coming on here, sharing their super quick story and really getting into like, how the heck did they do it? So I'm going to quickly introduce them. Sandy, if you want to go first, and then Michelle, just share your quick 2-minute story for the group. This group is all Director 3s pushing towards elite. So big welcome and thank you for being here.
Thanks, Lisa. So honored to be sharing with you guys. So yes, September, it feels like it's been 6 months in the month and a half that we've been here. We came from another company and it was probably one of the hardest decisions ever made because I had been in the network marketing industry for 9 years, fell in love with it. It raised me. It grew me as a person. I'm a solo mama, and it really was the thing that helped me thrive. But for whatever reason, the last few years, it just wasn't growing. And there had been an upper limit that I kept pushing against. And Michelle will share a little bit more about this story, but after some soul sisters came to us, kind of, in tears and upset about not being able to grow their business and needing to release them. And we did that with love and light. But it was at that time just starting to unsee and see what was actually going on in the team and how many people were struggling, and more than we even realized. And it was kind of in that moment that we had to make the decision to take the exquisite risk into moving into social retail. We investigated about it. We connected with Justin and Lisa, and you all know, like, this is a better way. This is the way of the future. It was like a moment of history. And I think in that era was just seeing how much more we could help our team and our future team. And then also realizing, like, we had always had this huge vision for life, when we started the industry. And I think so many people in the network marketing industry see the vision. And what we realized over the last few years, that we started to shrink that vision to fit the size of the vehicle we were in. And so moving to social retail, it was just an upgrade in vehicle. And the decision to make that change, to make the switch, was so massive that it grew Michelle into like another version of ourselves. And that up level has opened the floodgates of abundance. And here we are talking to you guys as just hitting the elite in September. So that's a little bit about my story.
I love that. So relatable, right? Like, seeing people struggle and then realizing that like the traditional model is fundamentally truly broken. So, and that this is a better way. Michelle, welcome. I'm super excited to see your beautiful face here today. Thanks for popping on. And I'd love for you to kind of share your story and what happened for you.
Hi, D3s. First of all, I want to say, oh my God, you guys, like, D3 is such a big deal. It's such a pinnacle level in this business. And it's just like, you guys have already created so much abundance and manifested and attracted a huge business. So I feel honored to even be speaking to you guys. But same as Sandy said, like, we were multiple 6-figure income earners. Like, I was sitting there, like, of course I had bigger goals, like we all do in network marketing, but I couldn't be dissatisfied with my income because it was just solid and stable and so good. And it really wasn't until these girls came and decided to leave our team. And I would say, like, I want to tell you guys, we had a team that like everybody else wanted to be in. Like, our team was like a sisterhood, and we've recreated that here in this company as well. Relationships and our sisterhood is like the top priority of everything. And so for us to consider walking away from that was like beyond anything. Literally, my nervous system could barely handle it. I was shaking, I was sick, I was like, but I couldn't unsee that my girls were stuck. And I knew that I wouldn't be able to go to them and say, okay, we're going to do X, Y, Z, and your dream is possible. because I all of a sudden became aware that dreams were not happening anymore over there. And once I realized that I couldn't in integrity say that to my girls and help them with their dreams and their vision, it was just like, there was no other choice for me. I'm like, I have to go to a vehicle where I can help other people. Like, I know I'm doing well here, but that's not good enough. Like it became like the feel, I for a minute I sat with like staying and what that would look like, and collecting a check all of a sudden felt heavy. Like it really just like, cause I didn't view it as that before, but now I had seen it and I couldn't unsee how stuck we all were. And coming here, I think that, you know, that's probably been the thing that's really helped us succeed the quickest, is how much we invest in our relationships and how much it's a sisterhood. So in our team, like there's no drama. It's always been, okay, call me with your problem. You always go up, and then we're going to talk about it for about the first 10% of the call. And then 90% of the call will be based on solutions and boundaries, and moving forward with integrity. And I think that that really played out when we decided to walk away. Not everybody, actually a small percentage of our team followed us, smaller than I would have thought, to be honest. But the ones who did were like, we'll follow you guys anywhere. You've created a home for us. It's safe. It's like, so I feel like maybe that's why we were able to hit elite so quickly, was because of the relationships that we've invested in and the dynamic we've created in our team and continue to create, of, you know, like women raising each other up, women calling each other out and setting boundaries and being upfront with each other when things aren't feeling right. Having those icky conversations. If there's somebody that was talking here and then decides to go here, like, not just signing it up and just being like, oh, I'm going to take this. It's like, no, you go to the person and have that uncomfortable conversation. So that was the kind of like sisterhood that we were coming from and what we kind of brought over here. And now I get to look at those sisters in the eyes and say, okay, girl, like, let's do it. Like, you're going to get to D3 and you're going to be earning this. And when you get to elite, and it's a when you get to elite, not like one day in the fairy tale like land. It's like, no, you will. And you're going to be earning this, and this is what your life is going to be like. So like, get ready, like start looking for those acreages, and I can dream again with my girls. And for me, I didn't realize how much my soul was withering away a little bit when I couldn't dream with them anymore. And it was this heavy burden that it's like invisible weight that I was carrying around for years. And I didn't even know I was carrying it.
I can totally relate to that. So I have a few thoughts like that. It is heavy managing a declining business, or managing a business that isn't growing anymore, is the most emotionally draining and heavy thing ever. And it's tough because you are making good money, but when you realize how much heavier it is for the people on your team, it's a lot. So here's what most people are probably thinking. Oh, well, it's great. Like, they have these two power partners, these leaders from another company that came over here, and just, I think people immediately assume, which is not good, that you just transplanted your team, which isn't the case. So what I want to highlight today is truly, I think as leaders, you know, people look up to us. Like, we've grown these massive businesses, we have this credibility, and we're hitting rank advancements, and people think, well, they had these people that followed them. Not that many people followed me from my team. Not that many people followed you from your team. So let's get into it. Like, what people want to know, and what I think that we don't talk about enough, is truly the sacrifice and level of effort that is required to get to these different ranks, elite, elite 2, elite 3, because it is a sacrifice. You do have to give up certain things to invest short term for this long-term gain. So let's get into it. How many people did you launch in your first month in business?
I think we launched 150 people. And I was surprised how much volume that small team could create, because I came from a team of 1,500 people. So it was like, oh my goodness, like, okay, Modere time. But you're right. It's always a lot of sacrifices. So it was like, you know, really, really late nights, crazy early mornings, multiple Zoom calls, posting on our story every single day, to the point that I was like, God, people must be getting so sick of me. Just like modeling those, like showing the results, showing the courage, like being magnetic. I feel like, you know, so oftentimes we're kind of like, oh yeah, and there's this little business over here. But anyways, like the products. And it was like, no, like here we get to lead with the business. We get to be proud and loud about the business model. And we get to be magnetic and attract people in. And when people reach out to me, I was looking back at messages from the beginning. I always assumed they were reaching out about the business. And when I reread the message, I'm like, oh, they were probably asking about the products, but I was so excited about the business that I was just like, here's the link, here's the launch, like, here's what you would order as a startup package. Let's get you started. So it's like having that, like, I don't know, Sandy's better at this than me, but like that assumption that everybody's interested in what you're doing is so magnetic. And that confidence is just like, it's just has a power to it. And I feel like the Modere products and the social retail business model really helps us with that. But Sandy, you should speak to that, because like her superpower is literally never guessing something bad about somebody. She's like, oh, they probably got interrupted or whatever. So Sandy, you speak to that.
That's so funny. Yeah, I always just assume the best until they tell me otherwise. I assume that they think and respond in the best way that they can, because that's kind of like how I respond. I'm never annoyed when someone reaches out to me about their business or their products. If I don't get back to them, it's often because I forget and I'm busy, and I appreciate when they circle back around. So I just assume that everybody does that too. And just to like piggyback on what Michelle said, I think when we, got the map, when Lisa and Justin were like, here's your $1 million launch, we really took that seriously and we looked at it, and it was like laser focused and 100% intention on that bigger picture, and like just trusting and borrowing their belief and their certainty, so that it didn't even matter how it was going to happen. Like when we first started, we didn't even know how to share the products, or what do we do? We're getting orders and we don't even know what to do or what to tell them to order. Like, because we were so focused on that intention, and then the how just revealed itself. Like even in the beginning, we would have Michelle's husband was helping cook us food, and he would like herd us around the house because we were just on so many calls and back to back and saying yes to when anyone wanted to get on a Zoom, and he would just like herd us over to the food, feed us, and then we would go back on the phones. Like it was chaos, but it was so fun, and it was so effective to be in it to that level. Yeah. And the other thing that I would say is like, it's so fun to get those check marks in your back office. You all know what you're talking about, right? That's fun. But honestly, it was like, okay, whatever is happening for us personally, we were just like, what's happening for the team? What about this girl? What about this girl? Okay, this girl is not getting orders. Let's get a call on her. Let's go live on her Facebook. Like, how can we support every single person that trusted and took the leap with us to make sure that they're successful? And I think that was the magic with being able to get to where we were able to get to. It was because we just truly made it about everyone that joined us.
And you really did do that, because I remember like Michelle being like, don't post my promotions. Like, I need to have my girls winning and winning and winning. Like, because of course she's hitting promotions. When you guys both recruit like 150 people and you launch that many people, you're hitting rank advancements with like the XM kits and stuff. And she was like, hold the phone. Like, and I think we don't talk about that enough, is like, in order to hit all of your goals and hit elite, you have to help a bunch of other people hit their goals. And, people can tell when it's about you or if it's about them. Like when you're putting other people first and you really want them to succeed, people feel that from you. It's a different vibration. And so what does it look like? What did that look like enrolling that many people? And sort of what was your game's plan? Like, I obviously know because I helped you with it, but tell them what your launch strategy looked like. Like, how did you enroll that many people? And then how did you onboard that many people? And then how did you help that many people get a bunch of customers? What did that look like?
I feel like we were sort of like just going so quickly. So we didn't really have like an onboarding. We just relied on the guides. We just kept it simple with that. Guys, do your guide. Let me know when you're done. Okay, awesome. Make sure you're putting up as much of your own personal stuff with the posting. That's one thing we really drilled into our team. Like, don't just put up the before and afters. Even something as simple as saying, guys, like, look at the before and afters I'm going to post. Here's what I'm excited about. Like the first before and afters I posted, the lady was showing like her knees that the skin above her knees was sagging. And so I mentioned my knees are starting to do that. I hate that. It makes me feel so old. So I'm hoping for that. I'm hoping for the hair. And I showed where my hair was thin. And I was really training the girls anytime they could get in front of their camera. And if they were too nervous to talk to their story, like be on a video, then even a picture of themselves with words on it that said, this is what I'm looking forward to for results, because they didn't have results right at the beginning. So really hammering that they had to train and teach their audience why they were taking these products, because their audience was building trust in a new product, having switched over from a different one. And even people who were new, their audience is building trust with them launching a new business. We did 2 Zoom calls when we launched, but then we stopped because we felt that like we just needed to start sending out the links. The recorded link was just as powerful. So we would send out the launch link and the MLM versus social retail for anybody that was looking at the business. And then we really quickly got good at SmartShip. So at first we weren't, and we had a few one and done customers at the beginning. And then we realized, oh, like they can save so much money with the bundles and the SmartShip. So getting people to 8 items is so massive. So I would say we're pretty relentless about training our team to do the SmartShip. So what we tell people is, this is how I word it. And I train my team over and over and over in multiple different ways on team calls, live videos, phone calls with them. Like I want to get all my girls, because their carts end up being quite big. Like the average cart we've got right now is between 150 to 180 points. So when you have that, volume climbs really quickly. So it's like, I always say to my customers, hey, don't add that to the cart. Make sure you add it to SmartShip, because I don't want you to miss out on the free stuff that you can get from SmartShip. So what you'll do is put this on the bus instead of the cart. Go throw a few even cheap things. It doesn't matter what it is. Go look at some bundles. You might want some household stuff. Get your count up to 8. And then that's going to give you 15% off. So most of the things you added, if not all of them, are going to be free. And so it's just an easy way to try some non-toxic and clean personal care items or household items. And then you can cancel or delay at any time. You get all the benefits of SmartShip and none of the commitment to it. And I never want my customers to miss out on that opportunity. And as soon as I started saying that, everybody started doing SmartShip. And now being in month 2, all of my SmartShip has reordered. Whereas some of my one and dones, I can't get them to reorder. So I think that now when we launch a team member, like the onboarding is really simple. It's like do guide 1 and here's a SmartShip training. Like, and I send it to them as a voice note. And if they can't do it themselves, they'll send a voice recording of me doing it until they're capable of doing it.
I love that. You guys actually, you kill that. Go ahead, Sandy.
I was just going to say something as far as the strategy of that goes. Like we have this list of Voxer, different little things, like how to explain XM package, how to explain SmartShip, how to explain, so that all of the team can download that and they can use it just straight from there, or they can then just like listen to it enough times so that they can say it. So I think having that, like we did a team page right away. We have those Voxers available. We have like different albums of all of our results. Like we've got a back end resource for them as well. That's just like exclusive to our team. So I think that was really helpful as far as the strategy about relaying that information, like not just us understanding it and just our leaders, but everyone gets the benefit of all the information.
Another thing that I feel like you guys are really good at, so you created your team page and you created this like weekly abundance call. Like, so we did a bunch of launch Zooms. And then once we had some people, we did some training, right? Like we went through some training, some stuff about SmartShip, some stuff about customers, and then everybody went out and did it and they were killing the SmartShip. But then tell me about like how you've built this team culture. Like I know you did it before, but you do it here and you have this weekly call where you really pour into your team to build that culture.
Well, I don't know if you guys ever follow Bob Heilig, but he is somebody who was talking about like, basically helps network marketers. And I had been listening to him obviously because I was a stuck network marketer. And one of the things he said about a weekly team call is you should look at this as a prospecting tool as well. And we had not been doing that properly in our prior company. So this was a real opportunity for us to reinvent that. So we do a little bit like the first 10 minutes is 3 people sharing their story, new people like, oh my gosh, you guys, I got this, or, oh my gosh, guys, I started and I didn't get a single order from my first post, but I was consistent. And when I shared my results, I got 10 customers. Like just real life stories of actual men and women that are doing it and succeeding and using the system. And then after that, we'll do a little bit of training. And at the end, we do an abundance clearing. So we're really, Sandy and I are really big into abundance work and manifesting and the clearing statements that you can use. Like, I'll tell you guys right now, like this is a very rudimentary basics, but basically anytime you catch yourself in fear about your business, what you do is like anything and everything that's afraid I will not move forward to elite, delete, uncreate, and destroy. Anything and everything that's in my way of getting to elite, delete, uncreate, and destroy. Anything and everything that feels I'm not worthy of leading an elite team, delete, uncreate, and destroy. And so like anytime you're in the fear, canceling those thoughts and then going into the expansive part of the work of like, what will it take for me to have an elite business? And you can feel your chest just like open up, because then the ideas start flowing in. It's like less restrictive about can I, will I, you know, is it going to be the same sort of limiting story that I've always experienced in my whole life? You delete that stuff, move it out. And then you get into this expansive, what will it take to attract a really excited, really entrepreneurial leader? What will it take for me to have an elite team? You know, like, and all of a sudden, like your brain and the universe, God, higher power, whatever you want to refer to it as, starts working on it for you. And so like we do a little bit of that in our abundance sessions as well. And then outside of our weekly calls, we just try to hang out as much as we can for anyone that lives near us. Like we've got a retreat out in the mountains coming up in early November. Like we are always bonding in person around personal growth, not just business. Like we grow together. If you've ever heard the word sistering, Glennon Doyle talks about it. So basically when a beam gets too weak to be holding up a structure on its own, what they do is they sister it with two beams alongside of that weaker beam. And so like we use any opportunity to create sistering. And so it's like sidelines together, downline, upline, and we just like, we're always sidling up alongside each other when we're needed. And it's like, that's what creates the trust and the sisterhood in our team, I think.
I love it. Yeah, you guys, I can't tell you guys enough that I've been in this profession for 8.5 years, coming up on 9 years, and I've never seen a leadership duo like these two, ever. Like it's truly remarkable. Sandy, the three of us have another Zoom here in about 1 minute. So any last minute words of advice that you would give? I think that was really great from Michelle in terms of like mindset, because we do get bogged down when we don't see it happening, but we don't see it happening because our head isn't in the right place. So anything to leave them with as we wrap up?
There's a few things. Like number one, I would say like this qualifiers day, if you're going to do it on the Friday or the Sunday, but the Friday, like get some of your people together and like create a buzz around it. There's some magic that happens. Like the end of November one, we're gonna rent a big mansion and get as many people there to create the buzz around that end of month and the magic that happens then. But I just think that it's up to us to create our energy and our frequency. And if it's low, then people around us can feel it. So whatever you need to do to pour back into yourself or to change your vibe, if you need to put on a song and dance before you do your video, it's so worth it to take full responsibility of the energy you bring and like believe in magic again. This Modere, it's magical. Like stuff happens. And if it's time to like start dreaming that empire dream, that bigger dream, and trust that everyone here has you. Like there's such a, everybody helps everyone in this Modere world, and I love it. And you guys got this. I can't wait to be listening to your Zoom when you're talking about what it took to get to elite, because and just looking forward to learning from all of you.
I love it. Well, thank you guys so much. That was so helpful. Wasn't that helpful, you guys? So if you couldn't make it on, tag your team members, tag your sideline partners in this video in the Facebook group. But thank you guys all for being here. And thank you, Sandy and Michelle. I love you guys so much. And have an amazing Monday and an amazing week. See you guys.